In a small village nestled between rolling hills and vast golden fields, there lived a humble farmer named Kwame. He was known for his kindness, always sharing what little he had with those in need. But among his many acquaintances, there was one man, Kojo, who called himself Kwame's best friend. Kojo and Kwame had grown up together, but over the years, their paths had taken different turns. Kwame worked tirelessly on his farm, while Kojo had become a man of quick schemes, always looking for ways to gain without effort. He often borrowed from Kwame, grain, firewood, even money, but he never repaid. Yet, he always smiled, always called Kwame a brother, and always promised, "One day, I will return your kindness." One evening, after a long day in the fields, Kwame sat outside his hut, staring at the setting sun. His stomach ached from hunger, his harvest had been poor, and he had barely enough to eat. Just then, a stranger appeared, a traveler wrapped in a worn-out cloak, his feet covered in dust. "Brother," the man said, his voice hoarse, "I have traveled far and have not eaten in days. Would you be kind enough to share a meal?" Kwame's heart was heavy. He had so little. But he looked into the stranger's weary eyes and nodded. "Come, sit," Kwame said. Inside, Kwame took the last handful of millet he had, ground it into flour, and made a small pot of porridge. He served the stranger first, watching as the man ate with gratitude, savoring every spoonful. When Kwame finally took his first bite, the stranger smiled. "You are a rare man," he said. "Many would turn away a stranger with nothing to offer in return." Kwame just shrugged. A man's worth is measured not by what he has, but by what he gives. That night, the stranger slept outside Kwame's hut, resting under the stars. The next morning, as Kwame prepared to tend to his dying crops, Kojo arrived. He wore fine clothes and had a full belly, yet he looked at Kwame's meager hut with a wrinkled nose. "Oh, my dear friend," Kojo said, clapping Kwame on the back. "I was passing by and thought, why not visit my old friend for a meal?" Kwame hesitated. "Kojo, I have very little left. Just enough to survive." Kojo laughed. "Come now. We are brothers, are we not? What is yours is mine." Kwame sighed but invited him in. He scraped together the last bit of food left, only a few pieces of dried yam. But as he was about to cook, the stranger stepped forward. "Friend," the traveler said to Kojo, "you call this man your brother, yet you take without asking if he has enough to give. Last night, when he himself was starving, he fed me, a man he did not know. Yet you, who have known him all your life, only come when you need something." Kojo frowned. "Who are you to speak to me this way?" The stranger stood, his cloak falling from his shoulders, revealing fine robes beneath. He was no ordinary traveler, he was the chief's messenger, sent to observe the hearts of the villagers. Turning to Kwame, the messenger said, "Because of your kindness, the chief has decreed that your land shall be restored, your farm shall flourish, and you shall never go hungry again." Kwame gasped, while Kojo's face burned with shame. As the messenger left, Kwame looked at his so-called friend and finally saw the truth. Kojo had never been his brother. He had only been a man who took and never gave. That night, as Kwame sat to eat, he thought of the lesson he had learned. A stranger who comes with an open heart is worth more than a friend who comes with an open hand.